Thank you, everybody, for your contributions. I appreciate it. Let's keep it going. Donate to the Super Chat. Donate to the PayPal. Donate to the Cash App. It's your contributions and your donations that will cause for this platform to grow. Let our voice be the voice, the preeminent voice in Black America.
Hi, my name is Dennis Berlin. I'm not a lawyer, but my daddy is.
Yeah, if you've been hurt in a car accident, call my daddy.
No need to scream and yell like a little kid.
Yeah, no yelling.
My daddy will fight for your rights.
Yeah, fight for your rights.
If you've been involved in a car accident, call my daddy, Attorney Dennis Berlin.
Hello, I'm Attorney Dennis Berlin. If you've been injured in a car wreck, call me at 713-229-0770.
Call my daddy, daddy.
What's up, y'all? So, you know, oftentimes people who are successful, they don't really tell you how they got successful. They say work hard. They say stuff like, put your best foot forward, these sort of things. They don't really tell you how they pull themselves up from the bottom, you know, how they get to where they are. I actually wrote these books. This is my best example of how to do it. But if I had to summarize, this is how I came up. This is the story of many of our stories, actually. But, you know, today I want to talk to you guys about a special subject. And I'm kind of borrowing this from everybody's favorite YouTuber, Mr. Kevin Samuels. He talks often about secrets and favors. Secrets and favors, the secrets that you keep for others and the favors that you do for others. Warren Buffett, who's one of my role models, one of the people I look up to, is one of the things that he says is that Warren Buffett says that you have to lost my train of thought for a minute. You have to understand what people want and give it to them. That's basically it. And so that's kind of like saying, give people what they're asking for. And so in doing so, one of the things that you have to consider is that when you do that for people, they'll give you everything they have. So I'm kind of just going to read this, and this is what I said earlier in my statement. The most important elements of any relationship are trust and respect. If a person is confident that they can trust you, then they will share with and become beholden and dependent upon you. Couple that with your demonstration of your willingness to be generous and sacrifice on their behalf by granting them favors, then you earn a level of reverence that cannot be easily replicated. So here's what I want you guys to understand. I'm gonna give you a few stories about secrets and favors. Now, most recently, I had a gentleman who, favor came back to me. There was a gentleman here in Houston, and he's a local producer. He makes music videos and movies and whatnot. About 5 years ago, I heard about his story, and I decided, without knowing this man, to just go ahead, a black man, brother, go ahead and find a theater to put allow his movie to be played. And so we found one of the best theaters in town in the very ritzy part of Houston. And I paid for everything. I think it cost anywhere from, about $5,000 to put it on. Initially, I didn't know it was going to cost that much, but bottom line is that's how much it costs. And so in doing so, I did him a favor. Now, lo and behold, here we are, maybe 3 or 4, maybe a month ago now. He returned that favor by plugging me in with a corporation that could take my shows and my music videos and those sort of things and put them out and sell them. Not just here in the Houston area where they're originally playing, but all around the world, which could generate a serious profit for me. And that's just me doing a favor for somebody I didn't know. That generosity. And that's why I talk to you guys about generosity. Oftentimes, the reason that we as Black people aren't able to come up, we aren't able to do well, is because we have this scarcity mindset. If I give him this $5, I'm never going to get another $5 ever again in my whole life. If I give him this money, then it's never going to come back to you. And you can't make money like that. As the old saying goes, you can't make, scared money don't make money. And that doesn't mean that you invest your money stupidly. Of course, you don't want to do that. You know, risk comes from not knowing what you're doing, right? Clearly, I knew that by befriending this man, by investing in him, this prominent producer, that eventually I may have to cross that bridge. Look at The Godfather. Look at how the mafia works. The Godfather. Look at they do favors for others in the neighborhood. Meat packing man, they do favors for the mailman, the meat man, they do favors and they work their way up. And then lo and behold, when he needs a favor, he can get a favor back. That's how favors work. You want to be able to do that. You want to be the guy known for doing favors for people. You don't want to be the guy known for being stingy. You don't want to be the guy who doesn't do for other people. You don't want that guy. Nobody likes that guy. Nobody wants to be around that guy. Nobody wants to help that guy when that guy's down. You want to be gracious. This is the type of person you want to be. Now, when you're known for that, and people are known, you're known to give favors to people and do for other people. And I don't mean just, you know, every time your little sister wants a new expensive purse, you go out and buy it. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you see a judge running, a young judge running, or a young district attorney running, or you see somebody who's already trying to help themselves. You see them trying to come up. You go ahead and invest in them. That's a favor that's going to give you a quick return. Okay, these are the type of things that you want to think about. Now, the other thing, secrets. Most of you all know I'm a personal injury lawyer. I deal with car accidents. I deal with people who are injured. Those people come to me, now they come to me through the internet. Sometimes they come to me through word of mouth. I actually met a lot of people through Facebook and now YouTube. People are coming to me because they want me to represent them in their car accidents. Now, I'm outright with mine. I don't do it. Even the commercials you see that I play here, they're all approved by the Bar Association. So I'm legit, 100% legit, above board. Now, there are some unscrupulous lawyers out there who do something called solicit. They use solicitation and barratry. What that means is they're out there paying tow truck drivers. They're out there paying, giving kickbacks to doctors and all this sort of stuff to get these cases. Now, what happens if that tow truck driver decides he doesn't no longer want to keep that secret? He has that lawyer butt in a sling. So at any time, he can use that secret against that lawyer. Now, that's unfortunate, but that's power because you have a secret. Now, holding secrets is better. Holding secrets, you can get more from a person holding their secrets, especially if this is a powerful person, because they will come to trust you, and they will come to respect you for you keeping that confidence, holding their confidence. And so they'll even, the closer you get, the more they'll share with you. So what I'm saying is, on the reverse end, you don't want to do dirt that people can use over you and use to manipulate you, because you lose power in that regard. You got a girlfriend you dated in college, or a roommate you used to hang out in college. He knew all the dirty stuff you did back in college, and now you're trying to run for state senator. You're trying to run for the United States Senate, and your roommate from college comes out and blabs off everything you did. You see what I'm saying? All the dirt you did as a young man. You're running for, I don't know, United States Supreme Court, not running, but you're trying to not win a nomination for the United States Supreme Court. Your roommates and all these people are coming out spilling your secrets. You see what I'm saying? They've had that power over you all these years. They've had all that power over you, and now they're using it to destroy you. You see, that's the power that secrets have. So you don't want to do stuff that you have to hide. One of the reasons that I wrote these books is because these basically tell my life story. So anything that anybody would try to use against me, it's already written down. It's been there for for everybody to read on Amazon for the past 4 years. So what does this do? This successfully eliminates any power that anybody would have over me. You see what I mean? I tell you how I started my law firm. I tell you about back when I was a young lawyer. I used to have some wild parties at my office after hours. You know, I had a little fake stripper pole up there. You see what I mean? All kinds of stuff I was doing when I was a young lawyer. You know, young man just falling into some money. That's what young men do. But the bottom line, what I'm trying to tell y'all is those secrets and those favors. That's how you maintain power. Now, digging deeper into that, your interpersonal skills. Now, I know there are a lot of work, there are a lot of numbers guys out there, there are a lot of engineers, a lot of programmers, and you know, I get it. There's a lot of you guys out here who say, well, you don't have to be rich to, you don't have to be have good social skills to make money. I get it. I got it. I understand. You got the money, but what's the quality of life like, right? You don't really get a chance to interact with other people because you don't have poor interpersonal skills. You don't know how to relate people. You don't know how to follow social cues. You don't understand social cues. You don't know what you're reading. So forever, people want to be around you because you have money, because you have something that they want, but do they want to be around you because they enjoy your company? Are you somebody that they find pleasant to be around? There's nothing more satisfactory. There's nothing more satisfying than knowing that people want to be around you for who you are. Okay, so that's my opening salvo. I see Malika is here. I see Excalibur is here. We got about 20 people here in the chat room. Go ahead and get the likes up. I want to make sure that I put this thing in there. Share it, subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you get the likes up. I do this for you guys, all right? Join the chat if you want to. If you want to join the chat, come on in. Let's join the chat. Hold on 1 minute. Join. Oops. Oh, man. You got to get the chat up. Everybody. If you want to join in and chop it up with me, come on in. Let's have this conversation. Anybody who wants to chime in, I'm going to put the link to the chat in the chat room. It's right there on YouTube. And I'm going to put it on Facebook also. So join the chat. Let's chop it up. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the lessons you've learned, things that you didn't realize, like, wow, is that how we do this? Wow, yeah. Trying to, clearly I've made some errors here coming in, but all. So the link is in the chat room. It's right there. Join the chat. If you want to have this conversation with me, if you got anything you like to add. But you need that power. You need that power and influence. You want that. Join the conversation. Yeah, I'm gonna put this back up here again. This is necessary for any man. You know, even something as simple as being able to get your sons into college. My next door office mate, he's a state representative. And so I make it a point, we speak to him, we talk to him, we make it a point to let them know who we are. You see what I'm saying? And the reason we do that is because we may need them one day. Mossy man, what's up? How you doing? Unmute yourself.
How's it going, sir? Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday to you too, man. So we have a very interesting conversation going. It's not the normal. We're not talking about nuts and bolts sort of stuff. You know, we're talking about the keys to power and influence, secrets and favors, man. So do you have any war stories from the front that you can share with us? What you got?
In regards to secrets and favors, I find it very useful to be somebody who is a confidant to people of low power, even high power, because those who have little power, if they're doing the right things, they tend to grow into higher power.
Right.
You know, being somebody of that nature, they would say, you know, hey, Mose, man, I like the fact that you're quiet. I've talked to other people. They say that you're pretty chill. You don't run your mouth. Can you do me this favor, or I'll tell you this secret? And the more that I display myself to be that person, I will grow more and more in favor in them, and I will be able to help them, and they'll be able to help me. And this is how you stay connected, especially as a young person, because I just turned 25. So these are things that I'm thinking about in my brain as to how I should conduct myself as a young man, how I could be of service to others, particularly older men.
Right. Well, I mean, so the thing is, man, you're on the right track. You know, people want to be around people who know how to keep their mouth shut. You know, people want to be around people that they know they can trust, because oftentimes, man, the one that wins is the one that's next up. You know, you know who gets the shot? The one that stays close to the people who are in power. You know, and they'll take you. Somebody in power, typically they're so confident they feel they can take anybody, the next one up, and train him to take the place of the person that they just got rid of. So by learning to keep people secret, by learning to do favors, by putting your step forward. Let me give you an example, man. I never tell young lawyers this, but the only way when they come and ask me for help, I'm not going to help them unless they bring me cases to work on and they put money in my pocket. You see what I'm saying? I never tell them that. It takes some of them years, some 5, 6, 7 years, but it's after that that I begin to help them. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not just going to help you for nothing, but you got to figure out this is how the game goes. The way I get put on, the way I get him to teach me how he's making the money he's making practicing law is I got to bring him a case. And once they do that, bam, there we go. You see what I'm saying? That's how that works. Otherwise, I got nothing for them. You know, and that's something that people who are in power look for. Are you helping me? See, if you're helping me get in power, that lets me know you're somebody that's bringing value to what I'm trying to do. But if you're not, then you're just taking it. I can already figure out where you're coming from. Cameron, what's up, man? How you doing?
Doing pretty good. Doing real good.
Man.
Just saw the title, and I think there was a delay. Before I hopped on, he was talking about programmers and antisocial people, so I was like, all right, let me hop on. But
Yeah.
from what I heard so far, I'm hearing nothing but facts and truths. It's definitely I was always taught coming up, it's what you know, not who you know, and really it's the opposite. You know, it's a mix of everything, really. Who you know, what you know, right time, right moment, and some of the stuff you just said earlier, as far as like who's in the good old boys club. It's a hodgepodge of things. People think just because it's software, you come to the table knowing what you know, it's a merit-based industry, and it's not just merit-based. It's still political, and people, I'm 30, so I just kind of experienced my round about political aspects being a contractor. I've been through 5 or 6 companies, and I can guarantee that when I thought was merit-based, it's the same thing. If you don't know the managers, then they don't know you. And when it's time to get a promotion or a raise or credit, they don't know you then either. The same things from the 48 Laws of Power, which, I know a lot of people think that's a narcissistic book, but I look at it as a defense mechanism at best. If you know the tricks and trades, you at least know what to look out for if you're not going to play the game. And that's a leg up on a lot of people. I guess rambling, so I don't want to take all the time, but that's the first thing that popped in my head.
Yeah, and you're right, man. I mean, and Matthew R. Smalls, please join in. I love talking to lawyers and young lawyers. So Matthew, if you're available here, come on, jump in. I'll put the link in the chat room for Matthew Smalls. I love chopping it up with lawyers because it's after practicing law for 21 years intensely, I have a lot that I could give to them, but I only allow a certain group of lawyers in my circle because at this point I'm on the other side, meaning I did all that stuff. I'm kind of plateaued, and I'm about to start, in about another 5 or 10 years, I'm up out of here. You see what I mean? I'm retired somewhere. But so Matthew, if you got time, you want to come in and chop it up, you have any questions about the practice of law, feel free to come in. My brother Malika, what's happening, brother? Always good to see you in the chat, man. What's going on, man? How you doing today?
My good brother, likewise. Peace to you and to the brothers on the panel.
Yeah, man. So we are talking about keys to power, influence, secrets, and favors. That's just 2. Now, look, this is not cutting out hard work. This is not cutting out ingenuity. It's not just all about what you know will get you in the door. I'm sorry, who you know get you in the door. What you know will keep you there, and how you conduct yourself will make you very successful. But the interpersonal skills, a lot of people think that all I have to do is be good, but they don't realize there's so much more to it. Your social skills, your interpersonal skills. Do you relate to people well? Do people like you? What's their perception of you? You see what I'm saying? Especially as Black men, can you overcome that perception that they might have and be an exception to that? Because there's so much money to be made. There's so much money out there to be made.
To that?
Go ahead, bro. Yeah, the floor is yours.
So, like I said, one thing that I'll say that I've been fortunate to deal with is that I've not really been at one company being a contractor. I've been, like I said, I can't really even keep count. I could, but that's not really the point. Every company, like what you're saying, every company has a game. So say there's like 20 pieces. It's probably not, but just for sake of clarity, there's 20 pieces. Each company arranges those pieces in a different way. So when you come into a new set of people, a new area, they're playing with those pieces in a different way. So the best thing you can do is figure out how these pieces are being played with to get the results you want. You know what you want. If you get in there, you want to be manager, or you want to be CFO or CTO or whatever, 3 letters you want. You got to look at what people did to get there, and it's not going to be the same from company to company. And some things just never go away, as far as like the whole, I said a little bit earlier, as far as like who you know and kind of connecting with people, but you're bringing up great points about being social. It don't mean being fake.
Okay,
it don't
Cameron,
mean
go ahead. Let's get to, I want to get to Malika because he's been waiting patiently. We're going to get back to, we're going to go to Matthew, Mossy Man, then we'll get back to you again. Okay, Cameron? All right. Malika, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here, brother.
All right, man, go ahead, man. The floor is yours.
The other brother mentioned the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene.
Right.
One of my favorite laws is law number 1: never outshine the master.
Right.
Black men should always have mentors in every aspect of their life. And just like if you ever watch a martial arts movie, you see that the protagonist, he gets a certain sensei or sifu, and he's going to teach him this particular style and this particular life lesson for this short time. Then he moves on to another master. This is what your mentors are. But when you're around a mentor, the best thing is to be humble, keep your mouth shut. And even if you may know more than him or her, you do not want to embarrass them, because that mentor and that master has gotten to a certain level, and you're still going to need that mentor and that master for something down the line. So one of the best things I think for a lot of brothers is to humble themselves and to really just sit there at the feet of that master and listen. And also, one of the best things that one of my mentors taught me, and this was my mentor when I was in community college, and he's my friend to this day. He would call me up and he would say, "Hey, are you busy?" And I was like, "Man, I'm chilling this Sunday." He's like, "Look, there's an art convention down here and I want you to come." And this is like last minute. And so it takes me about an hour, and I get down and I meet, and I got this look on my face, and we start going, meeting these people. And he knows these people, and I start talking to these people. But when I started opening my mind up, he has me networking with people. And these people were saying, "Hey, you got a card?" And I was like, "No." And he looked at me and he says, "Get your cards made. You never know who you're going to meet." And he says, "This is what I want you to do when you get around, go to these conventions. I want you to network people." And the funny thing was, I had been graduated from the community college, but then I had transferred to University of the Arts. And the person that ran the program in the graphic design program said, "Yeah, I know him. Hey, ask him if you know me." Well, they said, "Talk to me when you get out." And it was just realizing what your master or your mentor is teaching you. He's telling me, "Hey, I just want you to come out, not just to see the art, but I want you to know how to network with people." And also another thing is just to talk to people. Sometimes just handshaking a person and looking them in the eye and saying hello. And how the way you have. And he says, always be personable. Always just talk. And he says, don't over talk a person, but don't under talk a person, but be personable. And just and you never know who you will meet.
Yeah.
And it was just when we were coming back, and he just happened to see an old colleague of his, and his old colleague gave him a job. And later on, he said, "Hey, remember that colleague I met?" He's like, "Yeah, remember he was talking about he wanted to do this art deal." I was like, "Yeah." He said, "Well, he wants me to do the programs for it." He says, "I'll give you half of it. It's easy 2,500." I was like, "Sure."
Yeah, Matt, come on, Matt Smalls, come on back in here. We lost you for a minute. I want you to come back in. I just want Malika to finish. So, Matt Smalls, come on back in. The link is in the chat room. I want you to come back in as soon as you can. Go ahead, Malika.
Another thing is just be a sponge. Whatever it is your niche or whatever it is you want to get into, be a sponge, but be a loyal sponge. That's one thing I realized. Be a loyal sponge. Whoever teaches you something, don't hesitate to not do something for them. Like how you said, you don't mind giving somebody some help, but you want to get paid for that. That's right.
Well, the main thing is they want me to help them. But in order for me to in order for them to show me they're worthy of my help, they got to bring something. Like, don't just say, "Hey man, how do I work on this case? Show me how to settle this case for $50,000. You can give me the case, I'll settle it, and I'll give you a cut of it." And then over time, you'll learn not only how to work cases like that, but other cases that come along. Now, if you just come in with your hand out and you have nothing, you can't give a case, you can't even bring your own cases in. You're not even presenting yourself as material I can work with. You see what I mean? So that's what I mean. But Matthew R. Smalls, Esquire, how you doing today, man? It's always good to talk to attorneys, man. Introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, brother, how are you? Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine, man. Welcome to the show, man. And thank you for your message here. Come on in. So tell us about yourself. Thank you for having
me, brother. So I'm not a young attorney. I'm 45. Been practicing.
Hey, man, what you mean? I'm young. You young. We both young. You kidding me? Mess this up. Don't come in here with your lawyer.
Certainly young at heart.
Yeah.
Certainly young at heart.
I'm young. Okay, but go ahead.
You know, I'm in the New York City metropolitan area, brother. So I'm just relaxing. It's 10 o'clock over here. Just enjoying the evening, enjoying the show.
What area of law do you practice up there?
So I started out as a Manhattan prosecutor, went to criminal defense, worked in government at a high level, and now I am a strategic consultant / registered lobbyist.
Hey, look at you, man. Look at you. So basically you're on the inside, you inside the inside. You see what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah, brother. It's an interesting life.
So the thing is, man, you know a lot of secrets, right? And you've done a lot of favors, haven't you?
You know, politics is a relationship business.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. I want you to.
So
here's the thing. Let me tell you. So I'm licensed in New York too. And I know when I was really up there moving around in New York, when I was doing stuff and really working up there back in 2014, 2015, 2016, man, I got invited to all the nice parties. I would get phone calls. I'm like, wow, this is how this works. I would meet people. I got pictures. I'm gonna show y'all some pictures one day, but not right now. But go ahead, bro. I want to hear your story, man. Tell us. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
I'll just say this. For the purposes of this forum, one of the things, and again, I'm 45. Been an attorney. Been practicing since I was 30. And had a career before that. But one of the things that I learned and one of the lessons I always try to impart on brothers coming behind me is to value the relationships that you have and always put your best foot forward in relationships, professional and personal, because those people you're working with or interacting with today in 2021, in 2031, they may be the next, senator. They may be the next senior vice president. They may be the next corporate executive in 2041. So where you meet them now and you may not like them. You may be irritated by them. There may be some quirk in personality or some defect in how they dress or how they present or how they interact with you. But you never want to burn a bridge. Value the opportunity you have to form a positive relationship with that person, professional relationship, because you never know in 20 years, you see that person at a dinner, at an event, at Starbucks. And that person now is making 6 figures, 7 figures, and has access to all of these opportunities that if you had a good relationship with him 20 years ago, you now have access to. If you had a poor relationship with him 20 years ago, those opportunities are foreclosed.
So I want to shout out to Volcanus. Thank you for the $20 super chat. Everybody contribute to the super chat. We don't have a lot of people here tonight, but this is a very important conversation. So Matt, this is the perfect time I want to bring this story up for you because you'll be able to relate to this. When I first got to Houston in 2005, man, I was just getting started. I didn't have a lot of money. There was this lawyer who was working with my adopted dad. I didn't really know him very well, but I was respectful to him. He was a cool guy. About a year or so afterwards, he decides that he wants to run for state rep. And I'm like, man, I'm not really in politics. This is not even something I'm interested in doing. But I gave him $500. You know, like, here's $500. He said, well, look, we also need some volunteers. I don't have a lot of people. I'm like, all right. So I spent a day, man, walking around all these neighborhoods, passing out flyers, talking to people, putting stuff up. And I'm like, man, I'm a whole lawyer out here. Why am I out in these streets passing out flyers and signs and stuff? You see what I'm saying? This is beneath me. You know, how dare I, you know, do myself like this, right? Well, lo and behold, he didn't win, but that's okay. Actually, one of my fraternity brothers beat him for that position. So I'm like, well, you know, whatever. You didn't win. So I went back to practicing law. Next thing, this same guy ends up running for district court judge here, civil district court judge. They got the courts divided, you know, civil and criminal, as you know already, and state court. And so I'm like, all right, cool. So I hear about, I'm like, oh, look, you finally found, yeah, I think you make a much better judge than a politician anyway. So, you know, I gave him $500 and he won, but he never forgot that I was the one walking out there all day, you know what I mean, stressing and all that stuff. I never actually appeared in front of him while he was on the state bench. But the same guy in 2008 got appointed to the federal bench. And he's now, I probably had about 8 or 9 cases in front of him. One I just settled for $350,000 in front of the same judge or in this judge's court. You see what I'm saying? And that contribution you made 10 years ago had absolutely no influence on your settlement. No, not at all. I mean, the judge didn't have anything to do with the settlement, but I'm confident knowing that this judge knows me. I know this judge. I have a relationship with this judge, and I had spoken to him outside the courtroom since he got appointed. As a matter of fact, I blocked him on all of my social media. But the bottom line is, man, knowing that you know somebody before they became a judge, knowing that they know you, they know your character, they know who you are, they've had conversations with you, they know when you come in their courtroom, you're going to speak the truth to them. That carries a lot of weight, as opposed to
exactly.
Me. You see what I mean? So it's not about any undue influence. It's about the fact that he knows me. He's going to remember me for who I am. I don't have in his mind, I was willing to help. I'm willing to go that extra mile. That's the type that translates to, this is the type of lawyer he is. You see what I'm saying, bro? And so
I do. And he also, you know, and I want to say this message not just to you, Brother Dennis. And again, I've watched videos about your bio and your background, your divorce. I'm also divorced, so you know, I really respect how you're moving. But I want to say to the other brothers, you know, so Brother Dennis had a relationship with this judge who was on the bench, although Dennis never had a case with that judge. When Dennis had cases in front of other judges, the judges go back in their coffee breaks, we'll say, and they'll talk. Oh, yeah, I'm doing a trial with this lawyer, this guy, Dennis. So now the judge who Dennis helped 10 years ago, Dennis Sperling, oh, I know Dennis. He helped me out. He's a great guy, blah, 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 blah. Now that puts a chit in Dennis's corner with the judge he's before. but not because of anything Dennis did to that judge, but because Dennis formed a good relationship with that judge's colleague in the past. So that's the tangential relationships and the kind of the compounding effect of developing good relationships in all walks of life.
And we can even go back to law school. And I tell people all the time, I said, your reputation starts in professional school. When I was in professional school, I sat in the front of the class. When we took tests, I sat in front of the class. I wanted to make sure the professors knew and everybody in the class knew the A that I was going to get in that class is not because I cheated. You see what I'm saying? I studied my butt off. I never was different. Let me tell you something else I did. I never dated any of the women that I went to law school with. Why?
Me either.
because I knew at some point these particular women, they're going to be judges, they're going to be prosecutors, they're going to be opposing counsel. And I already knew how relationships go. They can go, unless you married a woman, and even still then, you could be she could end up hating you. You see what I'm saying? And that the last thing you want is for the judge or the judge's friend to be your ex-wife. You see what I'm saying? Or your ex-girlfriend from law school. So that's another thing. But go ahead.
Do you mind if I contribute on the good rapport aspect?
Go ahead.
Sorry, brother. Go ahead.
I'm gonna let Matt finish real quick. Go ahead, Matt.
I just wanted to say just an anecdote about law school. So in my law school, and it's probably the same, your grade was your grade, but the professors had a discretionary 1/3. So if you got a C, for example, they could bump it down to a C minus, or they could bump it up to a C plus, right? They had that discretion. So if you got a B plus, they could give you an A minus. So it's a discretionary one. I called it the discretionary 1/3. So I always made it a point, Brother Dennis, to develop a rapport with the professor from day one, like you said, sitting at the front of the class, being respectful, going to office hours, talking, and just presenting myself as a serious student, because I knew when it came down to it, when they graded those papers, if I got a B plus, they could just unilaterally make that an A minus.
Yeah. And so exactly. And and just so you guys know, we're talking about your reputation. We're talking about what people know about you. We're talking about your interpersonal skills. Yeah, generally secrets and favors, we got that. But people don't want, let me tell you what I've learned. People don't want to be associated with an idiot. If you can prove to the lawyer that defense counsel is stupid, he's not going to side with stupid. I don't care how much that guy's firm has contributed to his coffer to run for judge. They're not going to side with stupid, because if they side stupid is catchy, they'll look stupid. They don't want to look stupid. They don't want to look incompetent. So you carry yourself in a certain way that you can be someone that people want to hold their secrets. They don't want clowns holding their secrets, and they don't want favorites from idiots, because what they might take it, but they don't want to tell anybody about it. So, man, Matt, man, send me I got your in the private chat, man. Give me your email, man. I'm gonna send you an email later on, man. I definitely want to reinvest back up there in New York, man. But thank you for chiming in. I think it's pronounced Hosman or Hosman. Thank you for patiently waiting. How do you pronounce your name, bro?
It is Mosman.
Mosman. All right. So how you doing, Mosman? Welcome.
I'm lovely. I'm honored to be in the environment of elder Black men, because I'm glad you said something about how people don't want to be associated with stupid. I believe as young men, we need to make conscious efforts to develop our minds so that people will purposely associate with us based on the information that we share with them, but not by force. And I'll give you an example. Me, I make sure that those who I want to see win, I send them information. Now, I also donate to them too, but I send them information that I believe will help them, and it's up to them to use it. But
give us an example.
So one of my friends, I went to school with her in college. She's into like interior design. So her latest video she put up on Instagram making homemade Christmas ornaments. I noticed her audio was very low, and because I went to school and study audio engineering and entertainment and things of that nature, I gave her a tip to say, "Hey, Raven, your audio is a bit low. Did you do this? Did you do that? And we talked about it, and she settled the issue, as well as giving her information about advertising tools, marketing tools, and just being a good resource of knowledge for her.
Okay.
So I think it's important that outside of the behavior you display with people, if they can come to you for some sort of information and it's credible and it helps them, you'll be put into more of a higher favor with that individual as well.
Yeah, basically, I said that here. I said people will become dependent upon you. You see, they will be beholden to you. So she'll come back to you again. Now, imagine if you got somebody who's like, I got a lot of people that follow me that you guys, a lot of people that contact me for advice, and they've been calling me for years. I've helped guys who started off just on YouTube, and now you'll see them on these cable network television. They call me all the time to have conversations in all sort of realms. You see what I'm saying? From everywhere. And many of them follow this page, The thing is, because I give them that advice and they find me to be a great mentor, somebody they can bounce ideas off with, and the fact that I keep their secrets and I don't tell anybody, and I don't ask for any public acknowledgement or anything like that. So they get a chance to take all the credit for them. I enhance their power. I enhance their influence, because instead of just using their brains, they got two brains to use, and they're able to make better decisions. So they look like great decision makers. So by you doing what you did for that young lady, it looks like she's innovative and able to, keep up with the technology. Basically, you gave her that advice, and look what she was able to do with it. You know what I mean? Is that where you were going with that?
Yes, and I'm glad you mentioned the fact that you don't ask for public credit, because I'm the same way too, in the sense that, okay, you can create a narrative, but history will always reside in the realm of truth. So you know what happened. I know what happened. You may have changed the story, but the truth will always stand as a pillar.
Right. And, the thing is, depending on how you leverage that, man, you see what I mean? Somebody that you've been there with them from day one, you're not looking for any credit. When you got business and stuff going on, they're inclined to work with you. You see what I mean? Because they trust you. And here's the thing. I want to be surrounded by powerful, wealthy people that are beholden to me. That is a power position, to be surrounded by powerful, wealthy people in prominent positions, and you be quiet somewhere. You see what I mean? Nobody even knows your name. Nobody even knows what you're doing. You see what I mean?
Yes.
That's the position that I want to hold. So, but I know Cameron has been waiting patiently. Cameron, unmute yourself. I know you wanted to add on to some of that conversation that we had earlier, but I wanted to get Mr. Matt in. And well, go ahead, man. The floor is yours. Go ahead. What else can you add to the conversation to help the listeners? And let's get the likes up. Make sure you get the shares up. We only got 23 people liking. They must be they're somewhere listening to folks talk about relationships. This whenever I start talking about money and I talk about dealing with the cops and I talk about like politics, there ain't nobody listening. They don't want it. This is the stuff. This is the money making conversation right here. But Cameron, the floor is yours. Go ahead.
Definitely get used to your format. It's a little less chaotic. It's a lot less chaotic than what I'm used to. So sorry about that, but I got the format now. I understand the procedures. But everything you said earlier about like your name and your rapport and not burning bridges. Quick story, because I know we got people in line. Sometimes things don't work out the way you expect, and you have a falling out. And I was working with this lady, and I never disparaged her name. I never said anything bad about her when I was talking to people that wasn't even related to her. Same industry, but people, I didn't think people knew each other. Fast forward 2 years, her same company came back to do business with me again to give me another contract. And the dude that told me it was because even though her and I still don't speak, that he knew I must have been a stand-up guy because he never heard me say something wrong about her, even though our contract fell through the floor and we had to walk away and clean up the whole mess. And I was utterly shocked myself. So I've been kind of keeping that same energy, especially in professional settings where I could have a disagreement with somebody. I can get mad, but I'm not going to let that emotion spill over.
Yeah, because you never know who you're gonna upset, man. You know, you mess around and make an enemy out of somebody. And then here's the other thing. It may not affect you, but it can affect your children. It can affect your wife or your girlfriend or your mom or somebody else, because you don't know who's those people. Your children and the people that you're alive with, they pick up your enemies. You see what I'm saying? Your enemies will then take it out on someone who didn't know. Let's say I had a law school girlfriend and I pissed her off. And then my son ends up going to that law school and he doesn't understand why this lady is giving him such a hard time. It's because daddy dated this woman and pissed him off. You never know how people are. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, always be kind to people. And if you can't be kind to them, leave them alone. It's best not to disrespect people, because you don't know who they're going to end up with, who they're going to marry, you know, and where they're going to end up in life. But go ahead, Cameron. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that was pretty much the point. It made more sense at the time at hand when you said, "Damn, don't burn bridges," and make sure that you keep your name clean. And I thought that we had a lot of positive examples, but I think some people don't really experience, well, what happens when things are burning down, when things aren't going well? How do I still maintain that rule that you just set forth? And it was just as simple as telling the truth and saying, though things didn't work out, I made a lot of money with this person. She did X, Y, and Z. Still grateful for everything that she was able to contribute to me, but unfortunately we won't be able to move forward. And that's all I had to say. And that just took me eons until everybody just nodded their head, understood, and we just kept it pushing.
Cool. Well, look, we're gonna. I want to give a shout out to Volcanus, man. Thank you so much, Volcanus. He's my #1 contributor here, man. Thank you for the super chat. You guys, if you appreciate this conversation, contribute to the super chat. I also want to give an acknowledgement to Cameron. Oh, that was you. Thank you, Cameron. I appreciate the cash out. We're going to go ahead and run a commercial. Hey, thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and run a commercial right now to remind everybody to contribute.
Hey, what's up, everybody? If you appreciate the format and you appreciate what we're doing here, then make sure you contribute to the Cash App. Make sure you contribute to the PayPal. Make sure you donate to the Super Chat. It's only you and your contributions that keep this thing going. Hey, if you're enjoying the content here at Dennis Sperling Unfiltered, make sure you support it by sharing, and subscribing to the channel. Thank you, everybody, for your contributions. I appreciate it. Let's keep it going. Donate to the Super Chat. Donate to the PayPal. Donate to the Cash App. It's your contributions and your donations that'll cause for this platform to grow. Let our voice be the preeminent voice in Black America.
All right, Malika, man, you're back, man. So go ahead. We're almost at an hour, and you know what's going to happen next. We're about to play one of these fantastic videos so I can get this good streaming money going on from my music stuff that I got going. But go ahead, Malika, give us some more pointers, man. Give us some more pointers about the keys to power, influence, keeping secrets, doing favors. I know for a while you were a police officer. I know they got plenty of favors and secrets going on in the police force. You don't have to name names, but if you want to give us a story that made people say, yeah, he's down, he's cool. We want him to be captain, or we want him to be lieutenant. Maybe it's not about yourself. It could be a story that you heard. What you got?
Always be a man of your word. If you say you're going to do something for someone, do it. Just don't do it to say that you're doing it, or do it just to have people like you. If you say that you like anything simple, if you ask me, say, hey, Malika, I want you to come help me move something. Can you meet me this Saturday? Are you free? And I say, yeah. But then Saturday rolls around and I give you a call at 8 o'clock and you need me there to be 10. I'm like, oh, Dennis, I can't make it. That's not good. I mean, not as if I'm coming with you saying, yo, man, I got to run my mom to the hospital. Then you can say, okay. But if you hear my voice is groggy because I'm tired because of something else, that's not being a man of your word. Be fair. One thing that I realized were good supervisors. When I was in the department, you had supervisors that were fair, whether they were Black, white, Latino, male, or female. If they punished people, they would punish people along the board. If they were cool and let people off, or if there was an issue that was going on and they need to call in a favor, they did it for everybody. That's a good deal. If you're going to be a supervisor and a boss, be fair. Don't do stuff so you can have your people around you just to like you.
Right.
You know, if you got a rule with an iron hand, let the iron hand be fair. Another thing is do credible work. From switching from being a police officer to being a graphic designer, my mentors always told me to do credible work. I never give anybody crappy, shoddy work. And the thing is, that is your brand. That is who you are. And also be accommodating to who you're working with and also who you're working for. I had talked with a Black female graphic designer that's been in the business longer than me, and it was one of the most educating experiences I had. She honestly said, she said, don't get caught up in the work. She said, it's a business to business job. She said, you're a Black male, you're only 5%, meaning Black men and Black women, you're 5% in this industry. You already know that you got to work 10 times harder, but understand whatever you do, your name is going to go along the way. It's not about getting paid. You'll make money, but then you might not make a lot of money. But the thing is, what really gets you along is your networking and your name. Just like how you said with doing that work for the judge.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know who you're going to know coming down the line.
He wasn't a judge then. It was just some lawyer in Houston that I was doing a favor for. Who knew?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Who knew that this guy, it's better to have him up there than someone I know absolutely nothing about.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I got some other judges up there that I like, oh my God, because they know me from my reputation. They've known me for years. Some of them have known me since I was a little boy. And I had a great reputation then as being a respectful little boy. Even though I went through so much stuff, I was always very respectful. So it starts how you conduct yourself. I mean, it's almost like some people are just destined to be rich. Some people are destined to be successful. It's just how they conduct themselves, how they operate. And see, having money is not the only thing, fellas. It's not just about having money. Again, it's about your interpersonal skills. You don't want to be the rich guy that nobody wants to talk to. That's no fun. You don't want to be the rich guy. You got this huge yacht and nobody wants to show up, or you got a bunch of women that you got some fake friends that you met. You got some people you barely know, and you got some women that you've imported from some, I don't know, Mediterranean country that's there because you got paper. That's no fun. You want to be there with people that enjoy being around you, man. There's nothing like that. It's very lonely at the top. You know what I mean, fellas? So keep that in mind. But in the meantime, I'm going to give you guys an interesting story before I go. Well, not go. I'm going to play this video. We're going to take a little break. You guys take a little break. And so my boys, you know, my sons, they've been taking this martial arts kung fu since 2013. So now we're going on 8 years, right? And it took them until 2017 to get their first black belt, November 2017. And so now we're coming up on 2019, 2020. And I'm saying, and I talked to them, I said, boys, what we got to do is we got to play a little politics here. I said, because you guys clearly are better fighters than everybody else. You clearly outrank, but you've been sitting on these belts for 3 years. You see what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with having your basic black belt, but you want to start getting, if there's 8 degrees and you've been here all this time, you want to start graduating. I said, so what we're going to do is we're going to start playing politics. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, as your dad, I'm going to offer to write up a brochure for this particular martial arts school. Because if you know anything about people who do martial arts, they're real tough guys. They're not really, you know, they don't focus so much on the branding of their businesses. They just expect you to come there because they're excellent in what they do. This is what they're dedicated themselves to doing. But me, clearly, as you guys can see, music videos, TV commercials, YouTube page, whatever, you know, I clearly know how to market, and I know what people want, and I give it to them. So basically what I did was I figured out, I said, okay, so I got some pictures from their website. I asked them about the history of the school and where it came from. I wrote it up in a nice brochure. I had my printers printed up, gave them a nice little 3-fold brochure. And lo and behold, now the master teacher doesn't mind spending extra time with my kids, even though I'm paying them for the extra sessions. He doesn't mind spending extra time with my kids teaching them, so that now they're finally going to get their first degree black belts. After now they got their basic black belts, they've got their first degree black belts. But that was a lesson to my sons. I say, son, it's not all about how talented you are. Clearly, you guys are the best fighters in the school. Anybody who's seen my boys on the videos I put up, they can see they're excellent fighters. But these people are not going to let you, they're not going to let you open that door. You don't have the right key to get to that door to get to the next step. Now, at the point where they get to third degree master instructors at 16 and 17 years old, they got a guaranteed job paying them $80,000 or $90,000 a year. You see what I mean? And so that's the keys to the kingdom right there as far as the martial arts. Well, and that's just one school. And so that's me doing favors on behalf of these people, figuring out what it is they need, how I can help, not overstepping my bounds, tipping lightly, because remember, you're dealing with martial arts guys. They got the biggest egos in the world. I don't forget all that yin and yang and peaceful. They got huge egos. You see what I'm saying? But if you come in there and you approach them like that, if I can do that, you can also approach a CEO of a Fortune 500 company and do the same thing. It's not brown nosing. You figure out what it is they need and you supply that need for them. But we're going to take a quick break, guys. And I want to hear some more stories from I can't say this. Is it Mossman? Did I say it right there, Mossman?
Mosman, as in the letter O.
Mosman. Okay, Mosman. I will make sure I get that the next time. Mosman, Cameron, and Malika. So I'll be right back. We'll be right back, fellas. All right, we are back with Mosman and Malika. Brothers, look, man, we lost Cameron, but that's okay. Look, that's one of my, that's off my album. Coffee King International. You guys check that out. And you know, it's smooth music. It's for grown-ups. It's something you can listen. You still like hip-hop, but you just don't like listening to what they have out there. I get it, no problem. That's why I make that music. That's the music that I listen to when I'm in my car. Yeah, I listen to my own music. That would be the type of music I listen to. So that's why I made it. But you know, Mosman, go ahead, man. You got the floor. We got about few minutes left. I'd like to get one or two more people in here to chop it up with us, man, but the floor is yours. Go ahead, bro. What else would you like to add to this conversation?
Well, a lot of it with me is just being a forward thinker and understanding the types of people you'd like to associate yourself with, while also being in a position to where you're respected by everyone in a sense, whether or not they like you. My example is, so I work a lot in, you know, film production. Mm-hmm. And one quality that I can say about myself is I put myself in a position to where I can be worked with on a set for 4 to 8 to 12 to 16 hours a day, whether or not people like me, because I believe that is a linchpin in how you get called back. Yes, you may not like me. Yes, I may not like you. I'm going to be professional about it. But the thing is, can you work with me all day on the set? And if the answer is yes, then that means I have a place here and that you can always call me back. How can I put myself in a position?
What city are you based in?
I'm based in Marietta, Georgia, 20 minutes from Atlanta.
Okay, cool. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to get that out there. Go ahead.
No, that's cool. I just think it's important for young men, and I keep on going back to the young men, not only because I offer that perspective, but also because there are a lot of young men who aren't emotionally stable, so they let people offending them get to them and destroy their futures, not just for themselves, the people they care about, but also for their children if they decide to have them. Just like how you said about how enemies can be transferred to your children and they have nothing to do with it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I want to tell you guys a story. One of my mentors, his name is Judge Wilford Carter, and he is over in Louisiana. He was a long-time state representative, and then he became a judge and retired from being a judge, and now he ran again and became a state representative. So I asked him for some advice, and this was 20 years ago. I asked him for some advice. I said, you know, I'm moving over to Houston. What advice do you give me? What advice, Judge, can you give me about what I need to do when I get over there to establish myself? He said, what you do is and he willingly gave me this advice. I worked hard for him and some other judges over there in 19 JDC. I'm sorry, the 19 JDC, not 19, that's 7th, was it the Lake Charles District Court over there, 14th JDC. And he said, you want to attach yourself to somebody who is powerful over there and just study them and watch them and just learn from them. Because oftentimes what happens is powerful people will take you under their wing and they'll promote you. You see what I mean? Like, all you got to do is be there. You're there, you're with them, and you get promoted. You get the second, you get the hand-me-downs. I do it all the time to young lawyers who are under my wing. You come on up. I need somebody to fill this spot. You come on, I'll teach you what you need to learn. You got the qualifications book. But the problem that I have is, and you mentioned this, Mosman, a lot of people, a lot of young men, especially our young brothers, they don't have the emotional maturity to recognize that it's not personal. It's not about you. Everything is not about you. You got to control yourself so you can be there, and you will get hazed. You see, there's going to be stuff you don't want to do, but you stick around them and teach you how to make some money. There's a young guy, he just cracked $1 million mark. I had a yacht party about 8 years ago. He was passing out flyers to people at my yacht party 8 years ago as a young lawyer, or he was a student at the time. And now he's at the $1 million mark. This is one of the young men. He did that, and I've been talking to him, taking him step by step of what he should do, helping him get to hear how to negotiate, dealing in this world that he lives in, with these white folks and how treacherous it can be, and generally just how business can be, dealing with black folks, dealing with all sorts of people. But because he was willing to do that, something that helped me, because I just needed somebody to do that. Now, a lot of law students, I ain't passing no flyers out of no boat party. Who you think you are? I'm a law student, blah, blah, blah. You see what I'm saying? But he did it. And so now I'm beholden to him. I want to keep helping him. And I don't even charge him anything. Now, me, on the other hand, or me likewise, when I graduated from Tulane with an LLM in environmental law and $120,000 in school loans, I took a job as a legal secretary. It was a legal secretary. Well, my official title was legal secretary. They worked me like I was a young associate, but I was only getting paid $10 an hour. Now, I could have said, well, I'm not taking a job as a legal secretary. I got a perfect score on the bar, 2 law degrees, one from Tulane, which is basically an Ivy League law school in the South. You need to pay me, blah, blah, blah. But I wouldn't have got the job. And if I hadn't got the job, I wouldn't have learned the skills that I've learned about practicing law in the personal injury realm. And I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be the man you guys know me as today. I attached myself to someone powerful. This young man who's now just cracked the millionaire mark attached himself to someone powerful. I wasn't emotional about it. I didn't let my ego get in the way. It makes no sense if somebody rich and famous needs a favor, but you think you're too big to do that favor for them because you think it's beneath them. I remember, I don't want to be, taking up all the time, but I remember there was a story about P. Diddy, Puff Daddy. You guys know Puff Daddy, or P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Sean Combs. He had this show out years back. And one thing I remember, he made the young men go out, run out and get him a sandwich. And if the sandwich wasn't in the perfect order, they got fired or they got cursed out. You remember that? You guys remember some of that? Yes. The reason he did that is because if you can't handle it, if you can't handle that, then you don't earn, people thought, oh, that's demeaning. How? No, because this is what you got to do. Because he started off doing an internship when he left Howard University, and I'm sure they had him getting sandwiches. But now he's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. So you got to do your time. If the favor requires you to get the sandwich for this rich person, go get the damn sandwich, right? You understand what I'm saying, Mossman? You understand where I'm coming from?
Yes, it's perfectly sensible to think that way, because you're building your credibility to be given more responsibility and to be trusted.
Right. If I can't trust you with a sandwich, I can't trust you with this $100,000 deal either. You see what I'm saying? If I can't trust you to pass out these flyers on this boat, I can't trust you to show up in court and deal with this because what? You think it's beneath you? Are you kidding me? But go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I just think it's important for us to illustrate our value to people in regards to how we can work with them, what we can do for them. And as the relationship grows and grows, other skills and competencies will reveal themselves. It's not like trying to be a hustle man in New York. Oh, I got chains, I got watches, I got hats, I got purses. You give them what they need at the moment when they meet you.
Yes.
Other talents will be revealed over time.
Yes, that is exactly right. So thank you so much, Mosman. Malika, bro, come on in, man. This is we're gonna do one more round, man. So what can you add on to this conversation, bro?
I've written down 5 bullet points that helped me
Great.
go along to me.
Okay.
Number 1, be professional. Number 2, have a good work ethic. That's very important for us Black men. We have to abolish this myth and fallacy that we're lazy and shiftless and we don't want to do work. That's BS. We are hardworking men and we have to show it and we have to prove it. Do the things that the other guy won't do.
Yep.
And I'll be specific with that. Get up early. Be the first one there and be the last one to leave. Get in the face of your boss, your mentor, anybody. Ask him, well, what does this mean? Hey, do you need me to do anything? Be around them. Do the stuff that other people won't do.
Yeah.
Go get that cheesecake. Go get that sandwich for that Fortune 500 guy. Go put out those pamphlets on your older rich lawyer friend's yacht.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Don't settle for less. Always aim high. A lot of times we as Black people, but especially Black men, when we make a certain amount of money, we get settled and we get complacent and we're like, well, I'm here. I'm making good money. I'm all right. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I can do this. But we always put a cap on ourselves. We always put a ceiling. And we always have that fallacy that, this is cool. Where you at? You all right? No. You can always do more. Somebody always said that to me. You could do more, Malika, until I started doing it and I was realizing it's hard. And he said, yeah, and I didn't say it was going to be easy, but you can do more. Yeah. Surround yourself with enterprising and important people. Go to the places where the people are at that you want to be. Remember that old saying, if you're around 4 dumb, no good people, you'll definitely be the 5th one.
Yeah.
But if you're around 4 enterprising, important people, you may be the 5th one. Yeah. Just being around them and seeing what they do. Find out who is the smartest person in the room.
And go be his friend or her friend.
Yes. Ask them questions.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to ask them questions, but ask them questions in an interesting manner, in a respectful manner. I'm not going to push on this too long. Do you remember the movie Wall Street?
I do, yeah.
Yes.
All right. Now remember Charlie Sheen's character when he wants to meet Gordon Gekko, and he's been waiting forever and ever try to get a conference with him, and he always meets up with him, and he gives Gordon Gekko a box of his favorite cigars. Right. And Gordon Gekko's like, oh, thank you. And he's talking to him, and he's always talking about the venture capitalist great finds he done and what he did here and what he did there. And he was like, oh, okay. And he said, where do you work? He says, I work here. And he's like, so when you want to stop doing that stuff or really getting the stuff? He says, well, I'm asking you. So flash forward, Charlie Sheen's at his desk. He gets a phone call from Gordon Gekko's secretary. And Charlie Sheen's in the middle of doing work. And he says, well, I'm about to head out somewhere. If you want to get with me, come with me. So Charlie Sheen leaves. He realizes Gordon Gekko is getting on a plane and he's going overseas somewhere and he's about to do a merger and do some type of business deal. And Charlie Sheen is worried about his job. And he's talking with Charlie Sheen and they're just kicking it. And he's just learning how from him. But the thing was, Gordon Gekko was seeing how eager he wanted to get on. And if he didn't get on that plane with him, he was going to lose out on that deal. The thing was, you're going to get with this multi-millionaire, or you worried about your little $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 trading deal.
Yeah,
It's that ROI, man. And that was when
Yeah.
when I was 13 years old, I was like, wow.
You can't see the forest for the trees. And a lot of us have that, we have that scarcity mindset. You know, there's so many opportunities out there if you would just reach up and grab one. I'm gonna give you one more. It's more personal to me. My young cousin, man. I took him to visit. Well, he came to visit me in Louisiana when I was in my second year of law school at Southern University's Law Center. At the time, I had an apartment off campus, 1 bedroom, but I could have easily got 2 bedrooms. I told him, I said, look, man, you're 19 years old. You're still in LA. You're living with your mom. Dude, you like 6'7". You can come out here and play basketball at Southern. I'm sure they can find a spot for you. Very athletic. And, you know, he said, okay, I need to ask my mom. 19 years old. I'm like, all right, cool, bro. He had a great time at the Bayou Classic. He went down there. He saw the peak pop, and he was like, man, I love the city. I love New Orleans. I love Baton Rouge, man. I don't understand what these people are saying, but I love it. I could feel the love, and he got treated good. Now, when he got home, man, when he got back home, I said, so what's up? You staying out here? His mama said that he needs to tell the people that he's working with, right? This little bull crap job that was paying him $6.25 an hour, that he needs to give them a 2-week notice because he needs to you know, keep a good reputation with this company, whatever this. It could have been like Home Depot or something like that. I need to give him a 2-week notice. And I'm like, in 2 weeks, if you work there for another 2 weeks, the time for you to apply to the spring semester will be over. It's already November right now. The deadline is here. You need to be here, get set up, move in. You don't have time to work like that, because I need to know if I need to rent a bigger place for you to stay here with me, and you got financial aid and all that. Well, lo and behold, he followed his mama's advice. His mama having a scarcity mindset. Love my auntie. I know where she's coming from. Her husband, he worked for a defense contractor as a security guard, you know, for 30 or 40 years. So I get where they're coming from. They see that way as the way to do it. But see, I already had a path for him. He was going to finish at Southern University. You know what I'm saying? He was going to go to law school. He was going to play basketball. You see what I mean? And he was going to live with his big cousin, and I was going to put him on, and he was going to have all that laid out for him. You see what I'm saying? But because his mother had that scarcity mindset and he listened to her, he decided he would rather give him a 2-week notice. Now, ask me, and he never came back. Right? He was 19 at the time. He's 40 now. Been in, and since that time period, smoked a lot of weed, got a lot of traffic tickets, ended up doing 8-9 years in the penitentiary for traffic tickets. And then eventually he had an issue with his baby mama, caught a DV charge, did 4 years. Recently had another issue with the same baby mama, caught another DV charge, 40 years old. All of his whole life could have changed, and he had just taken that opportunity. You see? But that scarcity mindset, that more worried about this little funky $6, $6.25 an hour job. And then, you know, and so I don't know, man, that still bothers me. You see what I'm saying? That still bothers me, that I can tell people it's gold in them their hills. It's money to be made. I'm going to give you the keys to power. I'm going to show you how to influence people. I'm going to show you how to make this happen. But they still won't take it. Why is that, Mosman? Why is that you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, even if you're showing them that this is good for them? Go ahead, wrap this up, because some people just, they don't get it. Mosman, it's on you. Tell me, answer that question for me.
There's a mindset of the unknown that scares people when it comes to success. And when it comes to you trying to edify, which means to morally instruct, intellectually, when it comes to you trying to edify your young cousin, that it was a chance for him to step into the man that he wanted to be, potentially.
Bro.
And when you miss those opportunities, you look back and say, damn, if I had just had a mental mindset of abundance and I just took that leap of faith where they path, the yellow brick road laid out for me, my life would have changed. And people are very afraid, including myself, of what they can be when they face the choice of success and changing into somebody that they didn't know they could change into. It's about not knowing who you are when you could be as powerful as you can be.
Man, Malika, same. So check this out. I got another relative, half sister of mine. I wasn't raised with them because, you know, I was grown when they were. I was in like junior in college when they were, you know, born. My mother had a relationship with another man. They got married. They had children. But still, that's my half sister. You know what I'm saying? I want to see them succeed. So I'm over here. It's 2012, 2013. I'm just getting a divorce. I'm over here working on my PhDs at Texas Southern. And, you know, my sisters, they live here nearby, suburbs of Houston. I'm about 15 minutes from Texas Southern, from my house. My relatives live nearby. You see what I'm saying? So they about the same distance, 15 minutes from here to Texas Southern. Texas Southern is an HBCU here in Houston, Texas. It's in 3rd Ward, very well known. Everybody knows where it is, right? So I'm telling my mom, look, I can get my little sister in this school. I went down there, I paid for the application. I was down there. I got her accepted to the school. I know people know me, whatever. She got accepted to the school. She's 18 years old. And I say, okay, so I'm down here today. I'm thinking everything is good. I'm down there at the registrar's office. I'm getting her registered in my department. So I don't even have to wait. She don't even have to, all she's gonna have to do is get her books, a backpack, and show up in class. She don't have to do anything else. Everything's taken care of. Even right down to the damn, the tuition is waived. You see what I'm saying? Everything is, she's good. You see what I'm saying? This is the link. This is the plug, right? Uncle D is the plug. Man, I called my sister. I said, hey, what's up? What classes do you want to take? Blah, blah, blah. What day is good for you to take? She said, oh, I need you to, I want you to talk to, or what? She said, yeah, I talked to my mom and my dad, and they said that that's too far away from home. I said, what? You mean from your house in the suburbs near where I live to Texas Southern, which is 15 minutes away, is too far away from home? I said, okay, cool. So basically what they're doing is telling me, well, you know, she doesn't, we don't want to go into school there. We're not ready to let her be a grown-up, 18 years old. We're not ready for her to move. I said, okay, fine. I said, I'll tell you what, she'll be pregnant in a year. Lo and behold, a year later, she's pregnant. Now she's 26 years old, no degree, no education, baby daddy, who got 2 or 3 other kids. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Why, Malika? Why did that happen? Tell me why. Because see, the education was paid for. You know, everything you was gonna have the same plugs that my kids right now are gonna get. Why did that happen? Why is it that I can lead them? I can do these favors. I can give them the keys to power. One being education. But why wouldn't they take it, bro? Tell everybody why.
Misery loves company.
Mm.
You have to understand something, man. You're giving her something that her parents can't give her.
They both of the parents got education. They both
Doesn't matter. Can I tell you something, man?
Go ahead.
The thing is,
that bothers me too, but go ahead.
But also you got to understand something. It doesn't matter if somebody has education and they had all the stuff that they could get to get them to somewhere. Mm-hmm. You have a lot of people that are selfish. You have a lot of people that are narcissistic. You have a lot of people that really don't want people to succeed. The thing is, what you're doing is you're coming, you see, remember like how you said, people had done stuff for you. You're doing something else. You're giving back. You have a humble heart. You have a giving heart. You want to see people succeed. You're putting your hand down and you're saying, come on, follow me. You know, you're Moses trying to tell the Israelites, no, come on, do this. No, stop wandering around 40 years. No, come on, let's do this. And that's the terrible thing. And a lot of things, there are 4 fears that a lot of people have, but especially Black people. One is fear of success. Second is fear of failure. Third is fear of change. And the fourth is fear of the unknown. Your relatives had those 4 fears for their daughter because she's going to succeed. She's going to do better. She's going to move on. They don't want that. Oh, it's too far away. That's an excuse.
Yeah.
That's an excuse. That don't mean nothing. They got people that come and take 3 or 4 buses to get education, man. Doesn't matter.
I moved from California, South Central California, South Central LA, Los Angeles, California to Grambling, Louisiana, which is between 2 smaller towns. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I moved almost 2,000 miles away in the country to get my education. And they're telling me that this school, which is 15 minutes away from their home, is too far away for this girl to go to school. You see what I'm saying, man? So I say all that to say, when I give people the keys to power and influence and tell you about secrets and favors and so many other things, it doesn't matter because most of y'all aren't going to use them. Most of you guys are going to stay broke. You're going to stay afraid. You're going to stay angry with people who are successful than you. You're going to have that same mindset that most people have, that rich people are bad. Rich people are bad. They got it unfairly. That's the mindset you're going to have. So I don't mind telling people this information. This is for that 1% of you out there that will take this information and put it to use. Now you're looking at somebody who pulled himself up by his bootstraps. You're looking at somebody who came from the bottom. You know, you're looking at somebody who had everything against him. By right, I should be a statistic. By right, I should be in the penitentiary. I should be dead. But here I am. And I'm telling you guys, there's so much success out there. But the vast majority of you, you're not going to use any of this. You're not. It's just entertainment to you. This is like a pretty song. Uncle D is just singing y'all a pretty song. You listen to it, but you're not going to pay attention to it. You're not going to heed it. So I don't mind sharing with you guys. I don't at all. I don't mind. I don't think for 1 minute there's going to be so much competition because I'm telling you guys how to be more competitive, how to be successful. I have no fear of you guys taking my spot. Maybe there's one of you that will, you know, but, you know, because you're not going to use this information, and that's the most unfortunate part. That's what breaks my heart. That's about all I have to say, gentlemen. I appreciate you guys. We're at a minute, hour and 30 minutes here. I appreciate the super chats. I want to give a shout out to Ebo Sosa. Thank you so much for the super chat. Who else? Lakita T. Thank you for the super sticker. Matthew R. Smalls. Thank you so much. And Volcanus, my man. And also, I want to give a shout out to, who else do I have here? Winston Johnson and Cameron. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your support. It's you guys that keep me going. You know, I hope that the people here, I hope that you guys will take this information and be motivated. Find somebody who's wealthy. Figure out what they need. Figure out who's successful in your neighborhood and your community. Figure out what they need. Become an asset to them. Go and do favors for them. Don't look for money. You want information. I took a job paying me $10 an hour, and it has turned me into one of the most renowned personal injury lawyers in this region of the country. I'm one of only the black lawyers. I'm probably the only black lawyer licensed in the states that I'm licensed and operating the way I operate. That's what I'm trying to tell you. All because I was willing to take a job paying me $10 an hour just so I could get next to people who had the information that I wanted. So, you know, this is just this is me giving back to you guys, man. Thank you, Mosman.
I apologize for interrupting, but at the end of your soliloquy, if you don't mind, I'd like to say something for whoever's listening.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
So, gentlemen, I believe as men and as leaders, it is our responsibility to be forward thinkers, not just for ourselves and our families. And we as great men, we must draw our circle of influence around the circumference of the entire world so that there is no corner of the earth that is to be untouched by our influence. And with that, I'd like to share this. On YouTube, there is an audiobook called Family Fortunes. It is by Will Bonner, B-O-N as in Nickelodeon, N as in Nickelodeon, E-R. It's an 11-hour audiobook that teaches the secrets of how to create an infrastructure for your family to have money and to have wealth for years to come. It is important for us to have this information so that we help ourselves and help the future generations to move forward and our legacies to be intact. So do what you can for yourselves and your future sons so that your lasting impression will be forever known to everyone on the earth.
All right. I appreciate it. Malika, you have something you want to add to end this off with?
Brothers, just dare to dream big. And always put yourself first.
All right,
Always
cool.
room at the top. When I went to Lincoln University in my late teens, early 20s, I talked to this one professor from Africa. And he always said in a very thick African accent, he said, there's always room at the top. There's not that much room at the bottom.
Woo! Fire. I like that. Yeah. That's what's up, man. I appreciate that. That's good. There's always room at the top. There's not room at the bottom. Hey, and with that, man, y'all check this out.